All right, well, we'll move into the next topic. China is about to destroy the U.S. A Chinese scholar published an article on how to attack the power grid system of the U.S. that could be catastrophic to the U.S. The Chinese scholar claims that it's only for academic purposes, and he's trying to protect power grids by finding faults in other power grids, specifically the U.S.'s. So, how do you guys think the United States should respond to this? Is this a threat to us?
Yes. Right, I'm sure that's what you meant, dude. I mean, at a time like this, when tensions between the United States and China are so high, you have to look at suspicion with everything. I mean, maybe he meant it that way, but in the wrong hands, it could be, a military plan. And if you publish it in a national journal, it could get in the wrong hands now.
All you need is a Chinese translator, and you're done. And
I don't really know. Probably translates itself.
Yeah. I don't really know how you properly react to this, though, because... Yeah, I mean, they're having the trade tariff disputes right now because China was going to raise taxes on some of U.S. imports, and the U.S. Senate wanted to counter and all this other stuff. I think it's cooled down over the weekend, but how do you properly react to something like this? I mean, you fix the flaw, but we're already planning to. That was part of the stimulus, is that we're going to rebuild our grid and do all this, so it's not so easy to make fail. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
This is just asking for huge escalations in U.S. and Chinese foreign relations.
Yeah, because you can't just sit on your thumbs and do nothing because there's a threat, obviously. But you can't go after this guy because that's just
he hasn't actually done anything.
And it's a huge public battle that you're going to get into. That's like then people are going to start saying the government doesn't want the free expression of ideas, which.
But it's a legitimate threat to the United States.
Is. I mean, because if we lose our.
How many U.S. people do you suppose in political science write papers about like the destruction of certain other countries? I mean, like North Korea or something in that regard. Do you suppose? I'm sure those are being written.
I'm sure that's true. I think we do have a very big bias and filter on this.
Yes, there's a
gargantuan.
Thank you,
gargantuan.
My gosh. Anyways, I'm not even going to try to finish that sentence.
It's bad. Okay.
For our final topic, what is his first name?
Jon.
Okay, thank you. I just forgot his first. Jon Narcisse has decided to run as an independent. You'll remember we brought him up, not our last show, but a couple shows ago. What?
It was 2 shows.
Okay, 2 shows ago. And he is challenging Governor Culver from within the Democratic Party. He's a radio talk show host, essentially very conservative in terms of fiscal policy and government size. He's quite conservative. But now he has decided not to run within the Democratic Party because he shockingly didn't find support there.
No, he had support. He had enough signatures to be on the primary ballot.
That's what he claims.
He claims, but he also didn't have any money. Remember, they kept asking him, how much money have you raised? And that's really where the campaign is decided.
He just twiddles his thumb with that question.
Yeah, he has no, I don't know. But should he run as an independent? Are you at all surprised by this, that he just bailed out?
No, he was going to lose horrifically to Culver. And just,
he also had brought it up beforehand. He was like, if I lose, I'm going to run as an independent.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all.
He's spinning it in a great way. I mean, he said that his real reason that he says, but this is obviously just, I think, a scapegoat, is that people are just so upset with both parties, he doesn't want to attach his name to a party.
Yes, that's after he already put himself on the Democratic ticket.
After he got signatures to have, but I think he's spinning. That's the right way to spin it. Is just say, I'm tired of. You can use that. I'm tired of this 2-party system. I'm who I am. I'm not a candidate. I'm not a party candidate. I'm for myself, and this is what I believe.
How do you think he's going to do up against Culver and Branstad or Vanderplots or one of the other major Republican candidates?
It's not going to hurt Culver at all because all the votes that would vote for Jon would not be the people voting for Culver.
Culver's already in hot water. I think you really got to worry about the Republicans. I mean, there's a lot of, from what I've seen personally and what I've read across the internet, people in Des Moines especially are just furious with the governor, and they're just not a big fan of him. So, I don't know. It'll be really interesting if he can get on.
I don't think he's not going to be able to challenge those three people. He could maybe beat Vanderplots, and that's only if Vanderplots stays a one-issue candidate. I'd like
to see all 3 of them on stage and debate. I think that'd be really interesting. I think he will get some.
He'd just keep throwing wrenches, so it would be interesting because you just try and throw.
Well, the point is that he would. That I think he has a chance because people are going to be refreshed with this idea of not voting for a party but voting for.
Okay, I agree that there's success there.
I just don't see him as a legitimate candidate at all.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our show for today. If you would like to suggest some topics or respond to anything we've said, you can follow us on Twitter. You can become a fan on Facebook or email us at Informavores11 at... Oh, wait, excuse me. Informavoresradio at gmail.com. I gave you our old email address there for a second. Informavoresradio at gmail.com.